Hi everybody! Today we're going to be talking about another grammar topic. This one is additional der words, or words that kind of act like der words, or words that aren't quite the, but are similar to the. If you haven't seen the German with Puppets video that goes with that, go ahead and click on the button up there at the top. In the meantime, let's go ahead and get started. First of all, we have forms of the word dieser. Dieser is the most common of these, I would say, and this one means this, or sometimes these if it's used for the plural. And basically this kind of gives us an outline of what kind of endings these words will take, because there's a stem form for each one of these, and then we have to add extra endings to them to make them kind of fit with the case and gender and all of that. So let's start with the masculine forms here. We start off with dieser. This one has an ER at the end of it in the same way that der has an ER at the end of it. In the accusative case, it changes just like der does. It changes to diesen. In the dative, it becomes diesem. And in the genitive case, it would do what you would think it does, dieses. Don't forget that in the genitive case, there's also an S at the end of the noun. The feminine forms are exactly like you would expect them to be. We have diese with an E at the end, diese with an E at the end for the accusative case. The dative used dieser, and the genitive also dieser. In the neuter forms, we have something that's a little bit different. Instead of having das, like AS at the end of it, we now have dieses. Notice there's an S at the end of it, but it's spelled with an ES instead of a das with an AS. Same thing in the accusative case, dieses. The dative case becomes diesem, and the genitive is dieses. Don't forget again, the neuter form in the genitive case takes an S at the end of the noun. In the plural form, this one would be diese, diese, diesen for the dative case, and then dieser. Don't forget the dative plural also takes an N at the end of the noun. Now, a helpful way to remember these things, we have endings that go to each one of these words. This is just an example of these. There's several other words that take these same type of endings, so let's just highlight the endings here. We have an R for the masculine nominative, E for the feminine nominative, neuter takes an S, and the plural takes an E. In the accusative case, we have N for the accusative masculine, and all of the other endings stay the same, E, S, E. Dative case, we have M, R, M, N. And in the genitive, S, R, S, R. This is where we get the idea of Resse, Nesse, Mermen, Surser. R-E-S-E, N-E-S-E, M-R-M-N, S-R-S-R. This is a nice little mnemonic device that you can use not only to remember the der words, but also the endings that go on these additional der words, or things for like this and those and these and all of that kind of thing. Resse, Nesse, Mermen, Surser. In section 2 we get the rest of these words and kind of how to use them based on what their translation is in English. First one on our list here is very similar to the English word. We have alle, which means all. Dieser, which we just did, is this or these. Jeder means every or each. Manche means some. Solche uses such in English. And welche is which. As you could probably guess, some of these are more common with plural forms and some of these are more common with singular forms. For instance, whenever you use every or each in English, you always follow it up with a singular noun. Every book, every boy, every girl, everyone, all of these are singular nouns. You can't say every followed by a plural. For the same reason, you can't get away with saying that in German with jeder. For the opposite end of the spectrum, we have words like alle. Alle is almost always followed by a plural. All books, all dogs, all people, those kind of things. They're all plural. Then there's some that are ambiguous and can be used for both, such as this or these. Diese could be used with a singular noun, or it could be used with a plural one. But let's get into some examples to see how these are actually used in sentences. In section 3 here, we have what it is in English in parentheses, and then we also have to add our endings based on the case and gender and number. So for this first one here, it says some. The base form for the word some is manch. Then we also have to add an ending to it to make it so that it fits with the gender and case for each one. Verkäuferinnen is the plural form. That's indicated not only by the N-E-N at the end of it, but also the conjugation of sein, which is sind for the they form. So we know that we need a plural form. Since this is also the subject of the sentence, that makes it nominative and plural, which means we need an E at the end of it. So the word becomes manche. Some saleswomen are beautiful. Manche Verkäuferinnen sind schön. In the next one, we want the word such. This is very similar in German, where it is solch. Now we still need to have an ending on it to make it so that it fits with the gender, case, and number. In this one, we have Weintrauben. Weintrauben, again, is plural, as you can see by the end of the word, and also in the conjugation of sein. So again, we need something that is nominative and plural, which would be an E ending. Solche Weintrauben sind sehr lecker. Such grapes are very delicious. Or these type of grapes are very delicious. In number 3, we have this. This in German is dies. Now we have to add an ending to fit the gender and case. Geschäft is a neuter noun. It's also the subject of this sentence. This store has a good selection. So we need dieses. Dieses Geschäft hat eine gute Auswahl. In the next one we have this again. And this one is still going to be dies, for this. Then we have to add our ending that makes sense for the gender and case. Leckerbissen is a masculine noun. It's singular in this sentence because you can tell that from the conjugation of the verb sein. You can't really tell it any other way, as the plural form is also Leckerbissen. But since the conjugation tells us it's singular, we have to use here masculine singular in the nominative case, since it's the subject, and we end up with dieser. Dieser Leckerbissen ist mein Lieblingsleckerbissen. This treat is my favorite treat. In the next one, we need the word for which, as in which is which. So we start off with the base form, welch, and then we have to add an ending to go with the gender and case. Keks is a masculine noun and is the subject of this sentence. So we say, welcher Keks ist dein Lieblingskeks? What cookie or which cookie is your favorite cookie? In number 4, we have basically the same sentence. We have cakes and we need which. So the word for which is still the same, welch, and then we need to add an ending. But since du is the subject of this sentence, that makes the cakes the direct object. It's the thing that I like the most. And so we have to use here the masculine accusative, en ending to that one. Welchen Keks hast du am liebsten? Which cookie do you like the most? In the next one, we have das Licht in der USS Enterprise kommt aus fast something Ecken. Here we need the base form al, just as it is in English, and then we have to add our ending. Because we have the preposition aus, which is a dative preposition, we have to have something in the dative case. Ecken is the plural form of Ecke, and so we have to have plural dative, which in this case would be en, allen. The light on the USS Enterprise comes out of almost every corner. Which, by the way, is a reference to a How It Should Have Ended video, which you can see in the link up there. In the next one, we have der Geruch, the smell. Every, which is the base form jed. Fahrstuhls is the genitive form of elevator. So we have here the genitive form plus a masculine noun, which has an S at the end of the noun, and also an S at the end of the der word, jedes. Der Geruch jedes Fahrstuhls gefällt mir nicht. The smell of every elevator is not pleasing to me. Der Verkäufer schlägt ein Kind mit something Einkaufswagen. The salesperson is hitting a child with this shopping cart. We need the base form this, which is dies, and then we have to add an ending that would make sense for the dative case because we have mit, which is a dative preposition, and Einkaufswagen, which is a shopping cart, which is a masculine noun. Dative masculine would be diesem. Der Verkäufer schlägt ein Kind mit diesem Einkaufswagen. The salesperson is hitting a child with this shopping cart. So in the next one here we have die Bonbons sind für something Kinder. The candies are for all children. All in German is all. And then we have to add an ending that would have to go for the accusative case because of the word für, which takes the accusative case after it, and the plural because Kinder is the plural of Kind. So we need an E here for the plural accusative. Die Bonbons sind für alle Kinder. The candies are for all children. Die Geschmäcker, something Apfelsinen, gefallen mir nicht. Here we need the base form for some, which is manch. And we have to add an ending. Because we don't have anything in between Geschmäcker and Apfelsinen, we assume that this is probably a genitive thing again. Apfelsinen is plural, so here we need the plural genitive, which is er. Die Geschmäcker mancher Apfelsinen gefällt mir nicht. The taste of some oranges does not please me, or is not pleasing to me. Die Verkäuferin, something, Kasse, arbeitet zu langsam. In this case, we're using the genitive form again because we want to say the salesperson of this cash register works too slowly. Since we're using the genitive form, we need here dies as the base form, and then the feminine genitive er at the end of dies to make it dieser. Die Verkäuferin dieser Kasse arbeitet zu langsam. I think we've all been in that situation, right? Die Verkäuferin hat die Sonderangebote aus something Fenster geworfen. This, as a base form, would just be dies. Since we have the word aus, we know that whatever is after it is dative. Fenster is a neuter noun, so we use here diesem for the dative neuter. Die Verkäuferin hat die Sonderangebote aus diesem Fenster geworfen. The salesperson threw the sale items out of this window. Es hat fast something Video, das Vin Diesel je gemacht hat. Here we have the direct object for video. Every is jed, but we need the word for video, which is neuter, and we have to have a neuter accusative, since it's the direct object, es. Es hat fast jedes Video, das Vin Diesel je gemacht hat. It has almost every video that Vin Diesel has ever made. I'm assuming they're probably talking about the discount aisle because, well, that's where I would put all of the Vin Diesel movies. Ich hasse blank Abteilung blank Geschäftes. Let's start with the first one here, which is the direct object of the sentence. I hate every department. The word for every is jed, and we need to have an ending that would go with Abteilung. Abteilung, since it ends in ung, makes it a feminine noun, so we have here an e at the end of it for the accusative feminine. Ich hasse jede Abteilung. I hate every department. Now we want to say I hate every department of this store. So we say this, which is dies, and we have to have an ending that fits with the genitive form for this neuter noun. Dieses Geschäftes. I hate every department of this store. Ich hasse jede Abteilung dieses Geschäftes. Ich zähle something Einkauf. Here we want the word every, which again is still jed. Now we have to have an ending that goes with the accusative case, the thing being counted, which is an Einkauf. Einkauf is a masculine noun meaning purchase, so we have here jeden Einkauf for the masculine accusative. Ich zähle jeden Einkauf. I am counting every purchase. Meine Mutter hat fast alles von something Einkaufsliste. My mother has almost everything from this shopping list. The word for this is dies, and then we have to have an ending to go with the von, which is dative, and the Einkaufsliste, which is the feminine form. So we have feminine dative, which is er, dieser. Meine Mutter hat fast alles von dieser Einkaufsliste. My mother has almost everything from this shopping list. In the next one we have the word mit at the beginning of the sentence, followed by which. Which in German is welch. Mit is a dative preposition, so whatever comes after it is automatically dative. Cakes is a masculine noun, so we have to use here the dative masculine, which would have an em at the end of it. Mit welchem Keks trinkst du Milch? With which cookie do you drink milk? I believe the answer is supposed to be Oreo. That's all I have for today. Thanks for watching. If you want to see more of these grammar videos, I've got a playlist full of them over there. If you want to see some Märchen, or what is known in English as fairy tales, or just some German stories in general, there's some of those over there as played out by puppets. And if you want to see me sing some songs, you can click on that button over there, or you can go ahead and check out some of those resources that you can find online that I've reviewed over the last several weeks, and hit that subscribe button if you want to see them more often. Thanks for watching. Bye now.